My name is Kedar Ahmed, and I'm a community journalist with rptv News. And today we have TDSB School Board Trustee, Deborah Williams. Welcome, Deborah. Why don't we start off today by you telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you for inviting me here today. I really appreciate the opportunity to visit and speak with you today. A little bit about myself. Well, I have been a parent volunteer at the Toronto District School Board for over a decade, and participated as a parent volunteer on all levels, really. At the school level, on school council, co-chairing school council, and as a parent member, at the ward level, at the ward councils, actively participating with previous trustees to support our school communities at ward forums and other events and activities, and at the board level, at the Parent Involvement Advisory Committee at Toronto District School Board, PIAC, as a member and as the co-chair, like two different two-year stints there, two-year terms as co-chair. And that really brought me to be interested in following up and pursuing this role as a public school board trustee.
Wonderful. So now that you're a trustee, Deborah, what's it like being a school board trustee?
Well, you know, I knew the challenges going in, and I anticipate and I can appreciate the challenges that we'll face over the next 4 years in this term. You know, education, public education funding has been really underfunded for quite a long time. And I'd really like to be the voice at the board and in our community to advocate for the funding that we really need to support our public schools and to support our students to be, you know, reach their full potential. So I'm really looking forward to this term and looking forward to serving the community.
Wonderful. And as the new school board trustee for University, Rosedale, and Toronto Centre, we would like to speak with you about some of the key issues that are going on in the schools right now. Like what is happening with all the youth and the violence that's happening in the schools today.
So I just want to begin by saying, you know, all students and staff have a right to feel safe in our schools when they come to school and to work. Sadly, we have experienced an uptick in violence in our communities, and as such we see that coming over into our schools. At TDSB, we're currently in the process of putting together an expert reference panel on school safety and student well-being, made up of experts and organizations that will have recommendations. They'll make recommendations to the Toronto District School Board on how we can better support our schools to keep them safe.
Great. And what are the long-term plans, Deborah, and some of the policies to curb or stem the presence of violence in our schools with the rise in upticks?
Well, in addition to that expert panel that I mentioned on school safety and student well-being, we're also creating a Safe Schools audit team. And the work there is to work with schools to not only ensure policies and procedures are being followed, but to work with schools to address any safety issues. The school board really does play an important role in creating safer schools, and that goes beyond the work of a single school board. It really is a collective responsibility on all levels of government. We've already had discussions with the mayor of Toronto, Toronto Police, and the city's Safe TO program about how we can better work together and share information to ensure we're supporting youth inside and outside of our schools. Our chair at TDSB has also discussed this issue with the Ministry of Education. Our staff at TDSB are also working to expand a new initiative that works with community groups during and after school on a variety of programs focused on supporting youth.
Wonderful. When it comes to bullying within the schools, we actually, just at Nelson Mandela, the school right here behind me, we actually have a parent that frequently visits the Daniel Spectrum here, and her child was actually being bullied at the school over there. What can we do to help the youth feel more safe and more comfortable and wanting to continue going to school?
Well, with regard to like specific incidents that happen at schools, TDSB does have a parent concern protocol. And at my ward forums, I'll be holding regular ward forums. They're an opportunity for parents, community members to come together and get information about how they can support our students. With regard to a particular or a specific parent concern, the first real place to go with classroom concerns, whatever they may be, even bullying, is to have a conversation with the classroom teacher, to really work with the classroom teacher. You know, if the parent finds that they're not satisfied or they're not hearing or getting the answers that they're looking for, the next step is to have that conversation with the school principal, you know, about what measures and activities can be done within the school community and in the specific classrooms to support students and address those issues. Then the next step, of course, if the parent is not getting the responses or answers that they expect or are looking for from the school principal, to go and to contact the superintendent of education. And that person, the superintendent of education, their role really is to support the school staff, the principal, and the administration of the school. And they can bring in resources and centralized staff at the board level to help the specific issues arising at the school. And of course, I as the school board trustee, you know, even though my responsibility is not just to my specific ward, but on the board level to make sure policies and procedures are passed at the board level in collaboration with my fellow board members that really support improve student achievement and well-being. We just had a ward forum last night, and the topic was caring and safe schools. There is a centralized team at TDSB, a caring and safe schools team, that can come into the school to support those types of issues. Through my own personal experience, like I've seen like those issues in my own daughter's school, and was so grateful and pleased to be able to work in collaboration with the principal at that time, at the school council level, to bring in supports. That's like a great role like a school council can play, you know, in working in collaboration with the school principal to deal with and address some of these issues and bring solutions to the school on a school level, you know, supporting the teachers in the classrooms to model and support the students in behavior that creates a positive school environment. So just adding on to your question about school safety and, you know, your specific question about bullying. You know, I can share like my own personal experience, my previous experience as a school council co-chair, and also as a parent representative and participant on the school's Caring and Safe Schools Committee. You know, a lot of folks may not know, but every school in Ontario is like provincially mandated to have a school council. And the purpose there is so that parents can actively participate in improving student achievement and well-being and holding the education system accountable to parents. There's also another provincially mandated committee. It's called a Caring and Safe Schools Committee, and every school is to have one. That's also provincially mandated. The principal is the person who oversees that committee. So these are opportunities for parents to actively engage and work in collaboration with their school principal to make their school a safe and welcoming place. I can give you an example from my own experience. When my daughter was in elementary school and I was the co-chair of the school council at her school and also participated in this Caring and Safe Schools Committee. Through our school council meetings, we would hear, parents coming, there's an issue of bullying, something's happening in the schoolyard. So it became not just about a specific parent raising a concern, it became like a chorus of parents raising similar concerns. So now it is a school level issue. So now what do we do to address it? In conversation at the school council meetings and with our principal, we decided that we would bring in certain initiatives to help the students foster a more collaborative and kind of like a conflict resolution models and strategies they could use as young people. There was an organization as well. One of the issues that also came up was LGBTQ issues and making sure that students felt supported and heard. So we brought in organizations like the 519. They did parent workshops and presentations to parents in the evening. And we also partnered that with activities that actually happened in the classrooms, which teachers supported. We brought in presenters and organizations around encouraging some of the older students to be like leaders and mentors in the schoolyard. So if they saw perhaps like a student just sitting there on their own, like feeling maybe lonely and neglected, those older students who had that little bit of training and mentorship by the teachers could go over to that student and invite them into the play. If they saw like some conflict happening in the schoolyard, there'd be strategies around that. The teachers would, give the students like language and model behavior or do whatever appropriate steps needed to be taken. But always with this collaborative approach and this goal of fostering that positive and welcoming school environment. I know like sometimes parents can feel like overwhelmed by the public education system. They might not know how to navigate it, how to advocate for their child or their school, but there are like so many resources and opportunities to do that work and really support our students. And I hope in my role as school board trustee, I can really support our school councils to do that work and build that capacity so that they can really support and help their school community. And also individual parents, workshops about how you can, just workshops on so many different issues. LGBTQ, gender affirming kind of issues, Islamophobia, anti-Black racism. You pick the topic of concern and there are resources at the TDSB and there are opportunities in the community, like connections. I mentioned the 519. They came in and did an amazing presentation. They do amazing work in the community. And there are so many organizations that do amazing work. In Regent Park, I've heard there are youth groups and youth organizations that do amazing work. And I really look forward to learning more about those organizations and how they can support our schools.
Wonderful. You definitely educated me. I just wanted to ask you, so far I've been asking you questions about violence and scenarios that happen in schools or in high school, whether it's high school or elementary schools. And now that we got a little insight about that, is there anything else that you would like us to know that I had never got the chance to ask you or you want the audience to know about you, Deborah Williams, as school board trustee, anything that you might have coming up?
Well, I guess what I want folks to know about me is that I'm here to serve the community. I'm here for you. I'm here for all of our students at TDSB. I want every student to have an opportunity to meet their full potential. I always talk about or remind folks of the chronic and ongoing underfunding of public education. There's a provincial budget consultation going on right now. I think today or tomorrow might be the deadline to get your feedback in. But regardless, you don't be limited by deadlines. Make your voices loud and clear. Public education needs to be properly and adequately funded by the province of Ontario. Our students are really an investment in the future. All of these little kindergarten kids you see, they're going to grow up to be that nurse sticking the needle in your arm when you're in the nursing home. That little kindergarten kid is going to grow up to be possibly your next city councillor. That little kindergarten kid is going to grow up to be in every aspect of our society. We want to make sure that they are compassionate, that they are critical thinkers, that they reach their full potential to participate in our democracy and our society.
I absolutely agree, Deborah. Students are the future. There are doctors, there are school board trustees, there are police officers, there are firefighters, there are going to be our teachers. So we got to take care of them from now.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for coming and chatting with us today.
Thank you so much.
We look forward to hearing from you again in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please follow us on all our social media platforms, and for more information, please check out our website.